pleasant morning, future educators. My name is Erich A. Sia, and for today, we will be going to discuss the Module 17, the Successful Intelligence Theory and the Wics model proposed by Robert J. Sternberg. Okay, so now let's dig deeper into how the successful intelligence theory and the Wics model and why are they created, or what is the origin of these theories. Okay, so now let's read this first. So Robert J. Sternberg did extensive work in the field of intelligence. Over the years, his theory evolved from the more complicated componential triarchic theory to the simpler successful intelligence theory. More recently, in his collaboration with other prominent psychologists, he proposed the Wics, and the meaning of this is wisdom, intelligence, creativity, synthesized model. So, if you may not know, Robert J. Sternberg, as a youngster or in our age, is not that prominent in their school, not that smart, not that competitive. And maybe that is the major reason why he created or he proposed this theory to apply this in education, in the learning diversity, because he himself as a child do not do well, but right now he is successful, and maybe that is the reason why he proposed this, because he also want other children right there that do not do well in their schools to know this theory that he created to help them to grow. Now, there are 4 skills included in his theory, the successful intelligence theory, and these are the memory, analytical, creative, and practical skills. Okay, so to dig deeper, let us read their definition. Okay, so memory skills help us recall facts and pieces of information. It helps us retain the knowledge that we acquire. Okay, so we may not say it, but we know that memory is one of the major characteristics or one of the major factor that a student must have, especially as students. Okay, especially when we take exams, quizzes, tests, we really need to remember what we have studied the other day, the other night. We have to recall, to retrieve those information that we processed inside of our brain, mainly the cognitive processes. Okay, so now let us move on to analytical skills. So it helps the person determine if a certain idea is good. Okay, so from the word itself, analytical, it is also a cognitive process. We need to think outside of the box, to think analytically, to analyze the decision that we are about to do or the things that we want to do. Okay, so analytical, or being a person who wants to analyze anything, can be certain that the idea that he have decided is the best. So moving on, creative skills. Creative skills allow a person to come up with a new idea, usually to answer a need or solve a problem. It makes one flexible and able to adjust the changes in one's situation. From the word itself, creative, to create, and the other synonyms of it is to invent, right? Just like now in the modern world, the ones who created the technology really helps us and made our lives easier, especially when we talk about the education, the learning diversity. Just like what we are doing now, I am using technology to deliver this information to you right now. So okay, and again, memory skills, analytical skills, and creative skills really is an important factor to be successful. And that is why it is included in the successful intelligence theory. And now let's move on to the last skill, and that is the practical skills. Practical skills enable a person to apply what one has learned. It also allows one to carry through or implement a plan. Okay, so from the word itself, practical skills, meaning to apply what we have learned in school or what we have learned by studying, by watching tutorials. It is now the step with practical skills is the action. It is the implementation, to put what we have learned into action, to use what we learned inside of the school and use our learnings into action. and use them in personal situations and real life situations. And that is the practical skills. And that is why I can say that these 4 skills that Sternberg mentioned in the successful intelligence theory really is the really important factors to be successful, to be intelligent in school, and not just in school but in anything that we do. And now let us proceed to the next slide. Okay, so now first let's read this because this is really important. Sternberg believed that traditional views of intelligence focused heavily on memory and analytical skills. He also emphasized creative and practical intelligence because these 4 skills that he mentioned in his theory are all connected, and they are really important factor to be successful. Okay, so for Sternberg, successful intelligence is the ability to succeed in life given one's own goals within one's environmental context. The theory of successful intelligence points that some students who do not do well in conventional courses may in fact have the ability to succeed if they are taught in a way that better fits their patterns of abilities. Okay, so from this, it is really important that that as a future educator, we will know what are the learners' learning preferences, what they want, and what are their weaknesses, strengths. To know those weaknesses is also to help them overcome those weaknesses, and to know their strengths and focus on it so that they will become better on it. Okay, so it is vital that we remember what we learn. That is the memory, because we cannot apply a thing, we cannot implement a thing that we don't remember. We cannot answer such informations that we are asked if we don't remember, and that is why memory really is important thing. And now, analytical use critical thinking to evaluate what we learn. So as I've said earlier, analyze or evaluate, they are all the same. It is important that we must come up with the best decision or better idea that will be most beneficial to us. Okay, so now creative, be innovative in finding better ways of doing things and solving problems. Okay, so if you are creative in your own thoughts, you can think of a way to solve anything, to solve problems that only you can know, because you yourself is the only one who know yourself better, and that is why it is also your decision what you want to create or what you want to implement to do things and solve things. Okay, so lastly, practical, apply and put to action what we learn. Okay, so I already said it earlier, but I will say it again. Practical, it is really important, really important that what we learn in reading books in our school do not just stay in our mind and in our thoughts. It is important that we put them into action so that we can help other students, because we are future educators. And now for me, this is really important to study this successful intelligence theory proposed by Sternberg, because as I observe, this is really a good theory or a good learning implementation that we can use in our future encounter with students, because because with this, students who are not doing good in their studies, in the schools, in their tests, with this theory we can help them to overcome those weaknesses and focus their strengths and abilities to make it better, to enhance them. Okay, so I think we must really dig deeper into this, because this is really important. So Sternberg suggested that education must not focus only on memory and analytical skills, but to also focus on creativity and practical skills. Because yeah, this is true, that if you retrieve all the information that you have read, then you are a great student, because you have the ability or the probability to perfect a test, to perfect a exam or to have higher grades than others, because you have a great memory skills. And if also you have analytical skills, then this is great because you can think critically. You can use your complex brain to think and use critical thinking skills and apply it in education. That is also a really advance for you as a student. However, having the creative and practical skills really is crucial if in the students, not just in education but also in real life situation. Like for example, how do you think that the people living here in the earth know about the space? Why do we know that there are a lot of planets aside from the earth? And that is because the people are creative. They invent, because from the word creative, the other meaning for it is to create, is to invent, right? They created such spacecrafts that the people of the earth use to study and to go to space. That is also really vital for us right now, because we know that what might happen to us, that is really an advancement. And that is why creative and practical skills also are also really important in education. And this is understood that these four skills here mentioned here in the successful intelligence theory interact with each other, and these four skills are vital for us as a person, to have memory, to retrieve what we have studied, to think analytically of what we are going to do, and to be creative and apply the cognitive processes into action, and that is the practical skills. A person is successful, or we can consider a person successful if he perfectly unite all of these four skills and put all of them together into action. And I think that is the purpose of this successful intelligence theory. Robert Sternberg wants to propose this because he believed that these four skills are vital for us, because we are now living in the modern world, and that is why it is really important to know about this, especially for us, because we are future educators and we must apply this into our future to our future learners to come. And that is all. Thank you. And now let us proceed to the Wics model, and this will be reported by Lovely Jane Madidas.